What's up? What's up? It's Christmas Eve. How's everybody doing this morning? Monday, December 23rd. The 23rd. Right? The 23rd. We're here. I'm in the cold-ass garage in San Jose, California. This is Jon Fitch Knows Nothing, episode 46. We have some more ridiculousness to talk about today. And it might be a little bit of a stretch. I'm putting some things together to see if you guys can see a connection. Or maybe I'm just a crazy person. I do know nothing. I got my coffee. I don't know. I was thinking about doing a Christmas song. Should we do a Christmas song? We get us going here this morning. I do not know. Let's do a Christmas song. Let's do it. Let's do a Christmas song. Oh, in the holiday spirits. Have yourself a merry little Fitchmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, your troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletides gay, so gay. From now on, your troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who were dear to us shall be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together, if the fates allow. Let's go, motherfuckers. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Yeehaw! Christmas time. Merry Christmas, one and all. Merry Fitchmas. Have yourself a Merry Fitchmas. Let's do it. Take it to the next level. That's where we're headed. It's war on Fitchmas. Don't let them win. Oh, I forgot to turn that on again. Oh, well. Oh, we got presents wrapped. We got things going. Hopefully, things will be good. Single dad Christmas. It's kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? At least I'll have my kids Christmas Eve. I'll have them in the morning. That's awesome. They get, extra presents, I guess. That's cool for them. Hopefully they'll enjoy it. They get some parties and stuff to go to. Yeah, it's that time. So let's talk about this nonsense. This is silly, I thought. But yeah, I haven't been paying attention to any of the Star Wars crap since Disney took over because it's terrible. And because I'm a grown man. I think also I'm a grown man. But I don't even want to introduce it to my kids because it's so cringe. Yeah, maybe I'll show them the first 3 and tell them that they didn't make any more. But yeah, anyways, let's look at this stuff. Okay, so there's this show, I guess, The Mandalorian. Chris Tinkle was telling me that it's good, and it's because they let Jon Favreau, who's a good director, good actor. I like the guy from Swingers, right? Is that right? Swingers, yeah. He directed it, and they were kind of hands off, and they let him do it. And he said it's kind of like a Western. So I may take a peek at it. We'll see. But there's this Baby Yoda deal going on. I'm sure you've all seen the Baby Yoda memes out there. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so somebody's offended and has a problem with it on some level. Let's go look at this. Mrs. Veronica Shepard's writing this from CBC's News Opinion. She says, the Phantom Menace, when Baby Yoda memes go bad. It's just, anybody complaining about a meme, that should be a red flag already that this person is unstable in some regards. But I think I have something that I can relate to this, some conclusion. So we'll just go through this first. I got a couple other articles to share with you. Okay, so starting off, it says, you're telling me you're the only person on the internet that doesn't find Baby Yoda cute. This is a conversation I had with my brother on our way to dinner recently. I told him, much to his dismay, that this was the case. My feed had been inundated with the same 4 memes from dozens of accounts, each one feeling more like a discount Disney billboard than the last. And it's working for them, he said. In theory, he's right. The robed big-eyed creature, deemed Baby Yoda from the Disney's new series, The Mandalorian, based in the Star Wars universe, has dominated the online pop culture recently. Memes, articles, and even fan tattoos have sprung up in a matter of weeks. You're getting tattoos. People, if you're an adult man and you're getting a Baby Yoda tattoo, come on. Come on. Come on. From a bird's eye view, it's another successful wave of meme marketing. But my grievance extends beyond the repetitiveness of the content. It's with the unmeasurable risk companies are taking by handing over their brands to unknown creators. So this to me really is she's bullying, she's trying to bully companies into compliance. That's what it sounds like to me. She doesn't really care. Like, she hurt her feelings, now she's going to threaten companies. You better stop them from making these memes I don't like. But we'll get more into that later. It says, from a marketing perspective, it's smart on the surface level. Or what level isn't it smart on? Okay, so it says, she says, it's no coincidence that Baby Yoda's popularity is spiking during a monumental time for the brand. Disney Plus is in its infancy and has been highly anticipated as a contender in the streaming world. A new Star Wars movie in theaters, and the holidays are a busy time for merchandise sales. Given the success of meme marketing as a tactic late last year with the Netflix Bird Box, Disney recognized that a few well-posted still frames of their beloved new character could get them extra attention needed to get subscriber numbers up. What they might not have considered is the damage being done to the integrity of their brand. This is hogwash, honestly. Integrity of our brand. It's a frickin' fantasy make-believe green frog guy, you moron. Our brand, the Disney brand, oh my God. People are taking this squishy green thing. All right, so then there's Baby Yoda looking young and surprised, and it says, the meme here they're showing is underage me looking at the bouncer like, okay. Handing over the reins of valuable pop culture asset to a community of random creators is a double-edged sword. It endangers a loyalty with existing fans by potentially cheapening the Star Wars name and begins to turn people off who feel oversaturated by the character. Do ratings show this in any way? Does she have any evidence whatsoever? This is a shitty opinion. Nothing to back it up. She just doesn't like what's being posted, and I'll get into why I think that's the case. There's another one that says, it's Baby Yoda looking at his hand, and it says, when the edibles kick in. Ha ha ha, funny. Okay, then it says, the cracks have already begun to show Disney's marketing method. They open the floodgates and now are at the mercy of Instagrammers everywhere, and they should hope that they can reign control soon. The danger extends beyond Instagram's already massive reach of more than 1 billion daily active users. There's another one. It's the famous meme of the guy looking back at the chick, and he's with the other chick, but it's like a Baby Yoda instead, and there's the other like cutesy whatever things being ignored. Silly. It says, many brands have fallen victim to bandwagoning on platforms they aren't equipped to own conversations on. Improper attempts to appeal to younger demographics, though, through memes and slang have become so regular. It even spawned its own community on Reddit called Our Fellow Kids. Reddit's hards. Get off of Reddit, people. Live a life. where the users publicly shame brands and their social media managers. Poor attempts to stay relevant. It's this kind of tone deafness that puts so many brands on the defensive. Brands are only on the defensive when SJWs come after them for like doing something that's funny or whatever. It says just this year, Sunny D was under fire from turning depression into a cute brand joke, as one Twitter user put it, and Chase Bank caught major backlash for seemingly turning a blind eye to poverty. So this thing here, I don't have a problem with Chase's meme, right, at all. And of course they're pushing Elizabeth Warren, chastising them. But this makes 100% sense, okay? Chase put out the thing. It says, why is my balance so low? Bank account says, make coffee at home. Bank account says, eat the food that's already in the fridge. Bank account says, you don't need a cab. It's only 3 blocks. You says, I guess we'll never know. Bank account says, seriously. This sounds great. Good job, Chase. I agree with this. I agree with your marketing here. Right? Yeah, the bank bailouts were bullshit. That sucks. But we're here now. We're here today. This is where we're at. We can't go back. We can't undo it. You can't wave a wand and correct anything. We're just here. We're here now. We can only move forward. So these are very good points. If you're struggling with some money, you're trying to figure out, how to get ahead, the first thing you should do is cut costs. And if you're trying to change your life at all, the first thing you should do is cut away excess baggage, cut away the bad shit. If you're expending too much on bullshit you don't need, like that's probably the first thing you should do. That will free up a little bit of money. You're not going to save a ton of money. You're not going to get rich doing that, but you're going to save a little bit of money, and that money is going to be able to be put towards investments on yourself, an education, online course, something that's going to help you create more money, generate more money. I like this. I like this meme. It's good. It's honest. It's the truth, and that's why memes work. We'll go into that a little more later. So right now, beloved Baby Yoda is hitting the wrong nerve with some audiences, coming off as tacky spin-off and showing up in a slew of not-for-safe-work memes. Attempting to go viral through social marketing is nothing new, but as more competitors join the streaming wars, I expect Instagram feeds will increasingly be laden with lazy, monotonous content from the big brands. Apple, Hulu, HBO, and other streaming Goliaths are set to collectively spend dozens of billions on content development 2020. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So first off, what is it that makes a meme good and funny? What makes it popular when people want to share it? Do you guys know? Do you guys know the answer to this? I do. The answer is it's true. There has to be it has to be honest. There has to be honesty in it. Okay, there has to be honesty into it. If the meme isn't true, it doesn't have any honesty to it. It doesn't sting. It doesn't stick. Nobody shares it. That's why these memes that they're showing here right here, they work. Okay, anybody snuck into a bar ever with a fake ID? That's truth. That's why it's funny. Ha ha ha! I've experienced that. I've been a bouncer. I've seen that look. That's why it's funny. That's why memes are funny, because it's a picture with some level of truth to it. Honesty, truth, okay? Not feelings, truth. And I think that's why some people on the left hate memes. They hate memes. They can't meme because they meme from a place of feeling. And memes don't work when they come from feeling. Memes only work when they come from truth. So if it's not a truth thing, it's not going to work. In my opinion, in my humble opinion. Okay. So there's that. And then there's a response. I don't know if we have to go too much into the response, but let's, the post-millennial right here is talking about it, right? Canceled. CBC wants to cancel Baby Yoda. This is, I don't know who wrote this. Libby Emmons and Brett Wilson. Okay. I'm not going to go read this whole, it's a longer one. Or actually, no, it's just a long page. Okay, so it says, in a year of spectacularly horrible hot takes, the CBC managed to produce the most cringe-worthy, nonsensical think piece yet. the Phantom Menace, when Baby Yoda memes go bad. This isn't the original title. They originally went with "It's time to cancel Baby Yoda." No, we're not kidding, and no, it's not satire. This is actual article by an actual person. It will make your eyes bleed. It did. I have bloody eyes. Veronica Shepard argues that Baby Yoda is problematic because the memes that have sprung up featuring his likeness do not necessarily reflect Disney's intentions for the character. She claims there are unmeasurable risks companies are taking by handing over their brands to unknown creators. Basically, she's calling for Disney to grab hold of the social media verse and shut down the memes because the memes are both annoying to her personally and don't honor the integrity of the brand. Memes like this. Underage, she's going back to the younger. It's the underage. Looking at the bouncer. I don't think that's really what it is. I don't think she really gives a shit about integrity of the brand. I don't think at all. I think she's using that as a way to shame Disney into taking action. I bet she saw some political things she didn't like because they were honest, and people hate the truth. People on the left hate the truth, and we'll get into that. It's not that they don't view the world in a truth. They view it in a morality, and there's morality absolutionists, and people on one side are the truth absolutionists. Oh, CTE is playing tricks on my tongue today. What else we got here? The idea that the memes should be regulated and intellectual property use restrictions enforced. We must regulate memes kind of thinking is everywhere these days. The fact that in this case it's the beloved ubiquitous Baby Yoda may actually help to expose how silly and censorious this perspective is. We've seen this rhetorical gambit deployed in the realms of music, movies, video games, and of course politics. We can't control what's being said, therefore it must be stopped. But Shepard is not the only one demanding meme control, as if such a thing is even really possible. It's not. During the recent Canadian election, Melanie Green wrote a similar article called "Why Political Memes, Which Are Virtually Unregulated, Matter to the Federal Election," in which she complained that the viral memes are not regulated by the government. Green cites a communications professor who created the meme encyclopedia and a data researcher in an attempt to paint regular people sharing jokes and opinions in meme form in a bad light, as though it is even relevant whether these memes are viewed positively or negatively with regard to free speech considerations. So there is an attack. People hate memes, and I think that's why memes are being attacked. They share ideas, they're funny, they spread vastly quickly because they're funny. But they're only funny. Comedy is only funny if it's true. If there's no truth to it, nobody's going to laugh. Nobody cares. Okay? Nobody's going to care. Nobody gives two shits about something that's not true in joke form because it's just not funny. It's nothing nobody can relate to and identify with. So I think, in my opinion, that's why there's this attack and people hate the memes, and it's probably coming from mostly one side. I don't see any people on the right. Remember, I'm an independent. I don't give a shit. You should be on your own, stand on your own feet, do your own thing. Don't worry about the crowd or parties or any of that shit. I'm almost an anarchist. Almost. I'm on the fence about it, maybe. But yeah, so why? Why is this? And then I found this article that I've had saved for a little bit, and I read through it, and I thought it was pretty good. Take some of your questions here quick. Jason Burma says, "I'm only 3 deep in The Mandalorian. Pretty solid show so far. Looking forward to the Christmas edition of Mixed Martial Mindset tonight. Bring your Santa hat." Ooh, I need to get one maybe. Papa Lava says, "Merry Christmas, Brother John." What's up, dude? Thanks. Jason Burma says, "Funny, as popular as it is, the Star Wars being everywhere, this weekend was an overall bust for Rise of Skywalker, although I am trying to go see it tonight." Yeah, because the movies have been bastardized and ruined. I think that was what my buddy Tinkle from Fitch and Tinkle Smash Everything. Check out that podcast if you can. That episode will be up soon. But we talked about it, and he said that he's talking about how the director, John Fairview. Like he was given kind of free reign and was allowed to do what he wanted to, and that's why it's good, even though the Rise of Skywalker is trash because it's a feminist miscarriage of a movie. TJ Zuffer's in the house. Brian Yoshi, what's up? Brian Telford says Merry Christmas. Oh, what's up? Brian Telford CN says Social Justice Wars, Rise of Soy Walker. That's funny. Rise of Soy Walker. Okay, so then this is something I think might be relevant to this conversation, and I think this is pretty cool. You guys could say this is bullshit, and I'm reaching here, but I don't think so. Okay, so this is from the Rational Mail. If you guys ever see this, Rollo Tomasi. Now this is a site that's normally for red pill stuff as far as relationships. Okay, but this is a great resource, and he's got a few books out there that are great resources. Right? This article is titled "The Believers versus the Empiricists." Okay, and he gets into this about the red pill and blue pill and what it is, whatever. And he's talking about red pill and blue pill. People end up talking past each other because they can not even agree on what they should be debating about. The sets of values they hold are completely disjointed. They cannot even agree on what a debate is and what the goals of a debate are. Okay, so then he breaks down the kind of the framework of the thinking of somebody who's red pill or blue pill, and this kind of breaks down into left and right thinking a lot of times, or in my opinion, factual thinking versus feelings thinking. Okay, so let's see if you guys agree with this at all. Right, red pill people generally bring the following assumptions to debate. Okay, now to me, red pill people are facts people, right? So first, they believe that there is exactly one reality, and that truth is what accurately describes that reality. The better a statement describes reality, the more true it is. They are factual absolutists. Factual absolutist. Right? So that's the most important thing is fact. What's the truth? The thing that most accurately describes reality is the truth. Like I said before, memes aren't funny unless they're true. Unless there's some truth to it. Jokes aren't funny unless there's truth. There's no truth to it, nobody's going to laugh. So I think that's why memes are funny, and that's, I think, why people say the left can't meme, because they don't care about facts. They care about feelings. So jokes about feelings, they don't work. They believe that whatever something is good. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll read that again. They believe that whether something is good or bad is a matter of opinion, and that all systems of morality are things societies invented to get a result, and it is therefore pointless to argue about whether something is evil or not, instead of about what effect it has. They are moral relativists. It's another important word. They believe that the goal of a debate is to establish what the facts are and how this knowledge can be used to control outcomes. They argue about what is true. You guys believe that? I think that's 100%. That's the way I think about things. When I think about a debate, it's not an argument. I'm not trying to win. Like when I talk with you guys, this is a form of a debate. Like I want you guys to bounce back ideas off me. I want you to check me if I'm saying something wrong, or you can factually dispute. I want to build knowledge through communication. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. Then last one here is they believe that debates are a cooperative process between two or more people who have the shared goal of achieving a more accurate picture of absolute reality. And that, while people may stick vehemently to their positions, they can also reverse them on a dime if new information comes to light, because the only real attachment is to the truth. Bingo. Bango. I believe that 100%. They believe debates occur between theories, not people. Thus, questioning someone's character is off limits because it is irrelevant. 100. I don't care if you're the most deprived piece of shit ever. You could be a murderous, rapist, drug dealing, infused psychopath. But if you have a theory or a opinion about something that's true and provable, like, I'm not going to say, oh, well, that's bullshit because you're a piece of shit. I don't care. It's about theories. It's about the idea. It's about the facts. That's what I care about. But not everybody does. Now let's get to the blue pill side, or the left, or the feelings group. You tell me if you agree with these points. Blue pill people generally bring the following assumptions to a debate. Excuse me. First, they believe that reality is subjective, and what is true is simply a matter of who you ask. What is called truth is simply a codification of someone's perspective, and it is therefore pointless to argue about what is true. They are factual relativists. Factual relativists. Wait, the other ones, what did he say? Were moral relativists. Factual relativists. Interesting. Do you guys see that? When you debate people on the other side, you notice that? Like, I've had people say, like when I was in counseling, where I tried to debate points and whatever, and they're like, we don't care about the facts. We don't care. There is no reality. Like, it's just madness. It's madness to me, and this is why I think there's so much disagreement about this stuff. Not having the same argument, not seeing the same screen. One screen, two movies. All right. They believe that there is exactly one set of moral laws which human beings have gradually discovered in a historical climb towards ethical perfection or degeneration. Certain people are ethically better or worse based not only on what they do, but also on what they believe. They believe that different ethical systems exist, but they can be ranked from ethically worse to ethically best based on a sort of meta-ethics whereby they can be tested for degree of compliance with the one absolute set of ethics that underlies reality. They are moral absolutists. They are moral absolutists. This is eloquently put. I think this is 100% right on. They believe that the goal of debate is to establish what is morally better and what everyone should do. They argue about what is right. Yeah, so it's a hard conversation to have. If one person doesn't believe there is a right or wrong, and the other person says there is an absolute right, and everybody has to agree with the absolute right, or you're evil and all your opinions don't matter, that's a big problem. They believe that debates are a competitive process between two people who each have the goal of establishing their views about right and wrong by attaining a state of moral ascendancy over the other person. They believe that anyone who changes their views is revealing a flaw in their moral character because their previous views were not morally correct and must thereafter relinquish the moral high ground and submit their actions to the moral judgment of others, usually the person who won the debate. They believe debates occur between people, not ideas, for the precise purpose of establishing who should be allowed to set standards for the behavior of others, because they are morally superior. Thus, questioning someone's character is not only relevant, it is the whole point. Two completely different worlds that people live in. In my opinion also, this is why people on the left don't really ever debate people on the right. They refuse to debate them, not just because they know that it's a facts versus feelings argument. No, it's because they themselves don't even have the hierarchy of right and wrong figured out. So if they go into a debate and they push the wrong right, whatever, the wrong thing that they think is right, then they'll be attacked by their own people. So they're not even worried about it. It's not even about being beaten by your opponent who's on the right side or the whatever political right. It's about exposing yourself to the rest of your constituents on the left and them attacking you. That's kind of my feeling on it. They're more afraid of what their own people are going to do to them than losing the argument to somebody on the other side of the aisle. Now, of course, I know nothing. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this, huh? RC's in the house. What's up? Boxing MMA. What's up? I'm having a good one. RC says, I'm in my truck. Almost back home safe. LOL. All right, nice. Yeah, man. Probably going to have a slow day. Everybody's Christmasing it up, getting prepped. JB, facts over feelings. But that's not. That's not to everybody, though. It seems like only 50% of the people care about that. You know what? It's probably more like there's probably like 15% on each side, and everybody else is in the middle, right? There's like 70% chunk in the middle that just wants to fucking be left alone, and then there's the really loud 15% on the each outside. I think that's probably more accurate. RC says, love memes. Yeah, I think the people who love them the most are the people who are on that first category. They care about truth. They kill me, man. It's like a picture and 2 words, and you're fucking dead. That's ingenious. Like, and the speed at which they travel, and boxing MMA, this is interesting. I think it's interesting stuff too. Like, I just kind of stumbled on putting those two things together. I thought it was just crazy. I wanted to talk about just the insanity of cancer culture in general, right? But then I kind of stumbled through that article because I save articles on my phone. My friend, it drives her crazy that I have all these open tabs on my phone. Like, I find good articles, I leave it there because I want to read it later, or I'll read it and I want to talk about it sometimes, so I leave it there instead of bookmarking or whatever. I just leave it. Whatever works for me. So I stumbled across this one, and I was like, damn, those points kind of fall into this. Like, I see a correlation between that mindset. The people who don't like memes, who don't like certain discussions, who don't like certain talks. I think that's a big part of why the left a lot of times doesn't want to debate people, is because they themselves have not figured out what is right. What is the moral authority? What is the moral correct thing to believe and think? You see that with the left eating themselves. J.K. Rowling's recently making comments about, biological sex, and now she's a horrible person. And then they reached out to her to bend a knee and take it back, and she said no. So now she's going to be attacked. Wild. Brian says, did you just assume my reality? Bigot. Your reality is not my reality. It's my truth. I'm speaking my truth. I can fly. I only weigh 10 pounds. I should be able to walk in and fight at 125 because that's my reality. Next time if I have a fight again, I'm just going to walk in 20 pounds overweight and be like, bro, that's your reality. that I'm 200 pounds. In my reality, I weigh 170. Unicorn Cupcake says, Teddy Spaghetti says he could beat Rogan in a fight because Joe was a point fighter and apparently he was a knockout artist. Teddy also said his sensei told him he was the fastest kicker he'd ever seen. I don't know who Teddy Spaghetti is. Has he ever fought professionally? When has he ever knockout artist at what? The videos? Did he do this? Did he do this? Any of these knockouts happen after 2000? Did any of these knockouts happen? Because if it happened after 2000, I'll see even go 2005. If any of these knockouts supposedly happened after 2005 and there's no video of it, bullshit. You're bullshitting. You're full of shit. There's videos of everything, man. Brian says, it's about signaling virtue. I agree. It is. There's a lot of virtue signaling in there. But it's just, they do want to lift themselves up as better than everybody else morally. Like, I don't believe in your morals. Like there's a moral code that was developed for society to get along, for people to get along. But there is no baseline unless you are a religious person. That's what drives me the craziest about it is these people saying this shit are usually atheists. They're usually atheists. Maybe they have a little bit of spirituality. Maybe I'm spiritual, not religious. I'm spiritual. I'm a dog mom. But yeah, go to yoga, center my chakra. Yeah, and they just have a moral authority over everybody. If you're not on their moral level, like everything you say is bullshit. You racist bigot. Silly turds. Oh. RC says it's all BS. Everyone seems to argue and nothing happens. That's true. Yeah, there's a lot of arguing and a lot of nothing happening. But there is things happening though, because people get canceled. People do get shut down. You know? Kevin Hart wasn't allowed to host the Emmys or whatever the fuck because he made gay jokes 15 years ago. Like morally it was okay back then, but now it's morally wrong. So now you must be punished. Like punishing people for shit that happened in the past, let go. It's the past. You learn from the past, but you can't do anything else about it. Like I'm not happy about the bank bailout. That's bullshit. Like fuck those motherfuckers. But that doesn't mean we got to go back and recorrect things or whatever. There's no way to recorrect it. All you can do is vote for people who won't do that again. And then make sure you point a finger at, hey, fucking Obama, yeah, you did that, right? Bush and Obama, make sure you don't let them off the hook. I don't think we need to let them off the hook. RC says, LOL, unicorn, that was funny as hell. Unicorn says, Teddy and Owen are humble folks. Big Bear, he's professional feather ruffler, right? I don't know. Like, so part of it is like, where did he go with this? Like some of the stuff, I don't know if he's doing it just to get under people, just to like kick shit up, just to like, I don't know, make you talk, make you think. I haven't paid much of attention. I haven't paid close attention to what he's been doing, but yeah. Germs, laughing, haha, more LOLs. But yeah, man, it's wild out there. So, what do we do about it? Do we do anything about it? How do we discuss things with a person? How do we get into a discussion with a person who has this mentality, who all they care about is this bullshit morality that doesn't really exist? How can you support someone like that? Like one of the biggest things that drives me nuts is the people who are like atheists and people who aren't religious, and then they use, oh, well, if you were a real Christian, you would be appalled at Donald Trump's behavior. Like, what the fuck? I was like, you just talk shit about Christians and religion all the time, but now you're going to like use it to shame people into doing what you want. The argument would never work on you. Like, you support this guy who murdered people and that's not very Christian. It's like, oh, fuck Christianity. It's bullshit. Like, oh, okay. But you're going to turn right around and try to use the same argument and shame people. It's all about shame. The shame game. That's what it's all about, guys. The shame game. And there's no reason to be shamed, especially nowadays. The world's so big and we're all so connected to everything. It's so easy to pick up and move and find a new group if you get outcasted. It really is. Like, it's not the end of the world. I can understand when we had 150 people in our group and that was it. If your whole life you knew 150 to 250 people. Could you imagine that? Like, my high school was bigger than that. I was a country school. We were like a 3A school in the middle, almost 4A. But I graduated. We had like 300 kids in my senior class, but only like 250 graduated, 255, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, could you imagine that's all the people you ever knew was like the size of your high school, birth to death? yeah, if you had to like step in line with the moral code of that group, whether it was being nice to each other or human sacrifice or animal sacrifice, you had to go along with it, or you would be outed of the group. And if you got outed of the group, that was a major setback into your survival goals. Remember, number one rule: survive. So it's easier to survive, right? You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go with a group, go with help, go with people. So if you go against the morality clause of your group, your social group, you're going to get kicked out. And survival, 100,000 years ago was not fucking easy. You had shit would eat you. People would come and drop a rock on your head and take your shit, take your beads and your shells, your whammons. Tough times. So it was important that you stayed in the group. So shame was very, very useful back then because, hey, man, we can shame you into compliance. I'm going to shame you into compliance so that you don't get ostracized from the group. If you get ostracized from the group, you're dead. That's like I've seen a study that talked about how being ostracized from a group causes you the same psychological pain as like actual physical pain. Somebody beating you up. So like people like jumping you and kicking the shit out of you cause as much stress and shit in your life as just being ostracized from the group. No, you can't play with this. When you get Rudolphed, if you get Rudolphed, it hurts as much as you get jumped. And the fact that I think it was even coming to the point where like you could recover from the physical getting jumped rather than the ostracizing. My CTE is kicking in, and I want to say ostrich. Ostracizing. Unicorn says, I think he used to drink, and now my guess is Adderall. Switching one poison for the next. Yeah, there's a lot of people who do that. Monkey branch addictions. That's true. Unicorn says leftists act like anarchists, except they use the government to get their goals. It's not anarchist. They want authoritarianism. They want a centralized government that forces people to comply to their moral standards. Right? That's what the communists did. That's what Mao's China did. That's what Stalin's Russia did. Okay? Like that's how they justified putting people in the gulag. That's how they justified putting people in work camps. You're a bad, immoral person because you don't care about the group. You don't care about all of us together. You won't sacrifice yourself and your life for the group. You're a selfish scumbag. Off to Siberia and the gulags. Go to the work camp until you get reprogrammed. That's kind of what they're doing in China now. You seen those videos of the guy getting he's trapped to the chair, right? He's strapped to that chair, and they're asking him about a WeChat conversation he had where he criticizes the police. That's what a lot of these people are pushing for. They want that type of top-down control from the government. It's insanity that somebody would want that. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Stay away from my property. Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn. Stay away from my children. Boxing MMA says Rudolph. That's a new one. Yep. I'm good at coming up with new ones. Don't get Rudolph. And you know what? Chances are if you get Rudolph, you don't want to play with them fucking guys anyways. Take your red nose. Carve your own path. Why hang around? Right? Why hang around? Why bail them out? They Rudolphed you. You don't need to stick around. Go somewhere else. Rudolph was stuck because he was stuck in the North Pole. That was before the internet. That story with Rudolph, that was before the internet. He could have found a group of other kids that had, defective noses or some shit. They could have built their own society. Simplistic irony says China do it now via the social credit system. Yeah, China's on it, man. China's a problem. I've said this a number of times. China is a problem. Much of Disney is owned by China too. Pulling it around back to Baby Yoda. The product 410 says, do you think you made Rory Mack move to PFL? I think things turned out to be a lot harder than he assumed they were going to be. There's a much easier path towards the championship for Rory on paper in that organization, and there's a larger payoff at the end. He's also guaranteed, at least 3 fights in a year. Could make some sense. I see. Who knows? I think there's some fishy business with PFL and UFC. I think there's some fishy business between those guys. This is just me guessing. I have no proof of anything, but there's been a number of releases from PFL and World Series, whatever, to go to UFC, and I don't see them making any money. Their events don't get much viewership. They they don't. There's not much ticket sales. There's not very many butts and seats. They'll give all the tickets away just to fill up a 1,500 seat arena. They got in on the ESPN deal or whatever. They're in on some TV stuff. Like, why? There's no viewership there. Why would they get on? Are they paying their way onto that, or did the UFC grease some palms? Or is UFC involved? Or is UFC like secret investors somehow? They have money ties to some of the people who put money into it. I don't know. I'd love for an actual journalist to ask some serious questions and figure some shit out. There's also a lot of questions about where the money comes from for ONE FC. Where is their money coming from? Is it ticket sales? Merchandising sales? Where do they get the money to pay their guys? How many people are watching that? What's their viewership like? I don't know. I'm 100% wrong. I'm just asking questions because I don't see any of this stuff come up. And it seems like normal, average question a journalist would want to ask. Unicorn says, I've heard withdrawal symptoms from drugs are actually less than those experienced by withdrawal loss of a girl boyfriend. I could see that. I would say that they're similar because you read a bunch of that Rational Male stuff and you'll see the dependency, that love, the so-called love, is actually chemicals that get released during sex and after sex that form an addiction. They create, I don't know if it's serotonin or dopamine, whatever it is, but it's similar to heroin, right? The chemical reactions in your brain from being in love, air quotes, is similar to heroin addiction. So yeah, that's very likely, and that's one of the strong arguments people use for spinning plates. You should date multiple girls at the same time because you're less likely to become addicted to one of those plates. It's just a theory. What do you guys think of that? Excuse me. Unicorn says subjective but thought-provoking. Yeah. You would have to, there's got to be a way to measure, parts of withdrawal. But, you got to convince somebody to put the money into it to discover it. That's the other problem with science. There's not enough people willing to put money into things that don't make the money back. What's the incentive? Unless you're a billionaire who just wants to find some shit out. I would love to have billions of dollars just to do research, just for the shits and giggles of it. That'd be a great study. Study the comparisons between chemical addiction and love addiction. Because you have, and let's compare. Well, I wonder what you could probably Google that up. What are the suicide rates linked to drug addiction? People who. That's a hard one though, because did they overdose or did they, kill themselves because they couldn't get the drugs? But there'd got to be a way to measure those things, get those metrics somehow. The Island Voice says, really surprised Bellator didn't come back with a counter offer to Rory. I assume they felt he was asking too much, whatever that was. I think they might have been asking. He might have been asking too much, but also maybe he was just difficult to work with. And they're like, fuck this. He's a prima donna. We can't rely on him. Like they had to fly me out and pay me to make weight because they weren't sure he was going to show up. That's fucking stressful. Like you're going to put money into promoting an event and you're not sure. You got to pay somebody else as backup just in case the guy doesn't show up. That's not cool because now not only are you paying him his contracted money, but now you got to pay somebody else in case he doesn't show up. Boxing MMA says China owns the world. Between China and Saudi Arabia, they own a good slice of America. It's true. It's like they have the money and America has the military. Like we're the police force that does the work for those guys. Yep. Boxing MMA says ONE FC, Yakuza money. Ooh. Is it? Yakuza's in Japan, though. These guys, it might be the Triads. Is that who is in China? Those guys? Or it might be just the Chinese government laundering their own Chinese drug money from the fentanyl and whatever bullshit. Who knows? Who the F knows? Product 410 says, got any tips on how to build and sustain a high school wrestling program? Man. You got to make it you got to make it cool. You got to make it a culture. You got to make it a wrestling culture. So it's not just about the practices. You've got to have a lot of stuff year round for the guys. A lot of team building stuff, Go for team swims at the pond in the summertime. Get the phone tree, get the kids hanging out together. Make it a family type of thing. It's got to be more than just inside the gym if you're going to build that school program up. I don't have a lot of experience building that type of thing. But there are guys out there. I would go to seminars and clinics whenever you can to learn from some of the top guys whenever you can. Reach out and see if you can get some college teams or Olympic wrestlers to come through and do commuter camps, whatever. Make it cool. Make it cool. Give prizes out for wrestler of the week. Give them hierarchy. People love hierarchies. They love hierarchies. They love development. Give them an opportunity to earn extra stuff by offering, the golden singlet or whatever. You got to be creative with it. There's got to be a lot of ways to do that. But you make it cool. Make it cool. This is the cool thing to do. Bring in people who are cool, and the kids are going to be like, "Oh wow, this guy's amazing! Like, I want to be like that." See if you can bring in some fighters to give a talk, figure some stuff out, and then your club team. You're going to need a club team to make sure they can wrestle year round, and the club team needs to be something fun too. Go traveling and compete at big tournaments out of state. So that the kids get a chance to see the countryside, see America a little bit. Drive through the cornfields, go wrestle some people, get it done. Those are things that I was fond of, was getting to travel and see things and see people from other places. That was always really cool. That was a really cool part of it. That travel bug from wrestling got me hooked to travel. And that's one of the reasons I started wanting to fight, because I wanted to keep traveling. I didn't want to get locked down into a school teaching every day and never leave. Vacation, every couple of years somewhere. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a ton of experience with it, but I think those might be a good start. Product 410 says, we doubled our numbers from last year, but I'd like to keep that trend building. Yep. Yeah, make it cool, man. And then show them stuff like Flow Wrestling. Get your subscription to Flow Wrestling. Have events where people come over on a big screen, or set it up in the gym. On the wrestling mats, put up a big screen, and you guys watch big tournaments. You guys watch big events, right? Because it's really easy to watch wrestling these days, man. Whether it's freestyle, worlds, college, whatever, just get together and make it a fun and family event. That way people want to be involved in that, man. You don't know what their home lives are like. You don't know what they're lacking at school. You might be able to provide that for them and they'll love you for it, man. Boxing MMA says, yeah, man. Says, oh, excuse me. You know, a man in Ireland when he splits with his girlfriend, wife, hits the pub. I think a lot of guys do that. Brian Telford, tongs. What tongs? What are you talking about, tongs? Tongs and triads. Oh, tongs, I see. The gangs in China, the tongs. I haven't heard of the tongs. I've heard of the triads before. Unicorn says, so why is there no diversity push in big city Chinatowns, Little Italy's, etc.? Exactly. Like Little Italy's are probably going to be on the chopping block before the Chinatowns are. But they are cracking down on China, like Chinese people, Asians in schools. Like there's a big lawsuit, I think, in Harvard because they're squeezing out. They're not allowing in Asians anymore because there's too many Asians. We can't let any more in. We don't care how good the scores you have or how smart you are or whatever. You're just too Asian. We need less Asians, which is hella racist. This is hella racist. First off, there's like a ridiculous number of different types of Asians, and they're not all the same. You know, Cambodian, Laos, Thai, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, Mongolian. Like, there's a lot of different types. I probably missed a bunch. And they're not all the same. They don't all prosper the same way. They don't all have the same type of money. So, like, that's hella racist, just lumping all the Asians in one category. I think it's kind of racist to lump all the white people in one category because they're not all the same. Like, there's a big difference between German ancestral people and Irish ancestral people, or English or Italian. Like, there's plenty of differences there. Czech, Poland. It's all just unimportant. Like your skin tone, your hair color, like who gives a shit? RC says, had to step out. You be on tomorrow, John? Tomorrow, I think so, yeah. It's Christmas Eve tomorrow, right? Yeah. I should be. And then Christmas, Wednesday, I'll take off that morning. I may do a special broadcast for the single dads out there who are alone Christmas night. In case I might eat a whole chicken and drink a bottle of whiskey, sing some songs. I don't know. We'll see. Have not decided yet. Boxing MMA says Flow Wrestling is on Periscope live a lot. Yep. There's a lot of resources to watch a lot of live wrestling and keep up to date with what's going on in that world. Because I don't follow it that closely, and just with Instagram and Twitter, I see a lot of cool shit. I see who the big names are doing big things in the sport. It's cool. The Island Boy says, when are we going to see you back in the cage? Do you have many fights left on your contract? I think I have 3 fights on my contract, but they haven't. I mean, I'm just waiting. If they give me the limit fight, I'm back at it. If not, like, there's no point. Like, they haven't even called to make an offer or whatever. So, like, I can't fight for 63 and 63 once a year. I can't live off of that. So I'm trying to make things happen. I have a seminar January 18th, right? I'll start promoting that soon. Day after Christmas, I'll start pushing that more. It's going to be basic self-defense, space management with the focus on space management, okay? This is a seminar that you won't need any background whatsoever. No background in any type of fitness to do it, okay? I'm going to give you some basic things to work on in the warm-up for physical, making yourself physically stronger to do the things I'm going to teach. But yeah, it's going to be very basic. But I'm gonna plan on doing more of them. I'd like to do 1 seminar a month, and then once I start filling those up, I'd like to maybe move it to 2, or even get it to a point where I have enough people to come to one seminar where I split it and I do 2 that day, two of the same seminar that day, so I can reach more people. Because I think 35 to 30 to 35 people, small, it's a manageable group. You get the most out of it, I think, with that number, rather than doing a group of 60. I don't think you'd get much out of that. It'd be harder to get around. Yeah, we're working on that, and then I'm still waiting on approval from Bellator for pictures, so I get my book going. I know they just had 2 events, a Saturday, and then they've got Christmas, so I'm sure they're backed up, so I understand that. But I think it's cool that they're even considering giving me the pictures. I think it's really cool of them. It never happened with UFC. Unicorn, it says, would you fight a Trans Am? I don't know. Well, I mean, it'd be a girl trying to be a guy, so yeah. I think it's like, would you fight a wet paper bag for money? Like, boxing MMA says chicken and whiskey. My man, a perfect combination. Germ says, where's your seminar going to be? AKA here in San Jose. It'll be the first one, and then I'll hit some other spots around San Jose. And if you are a spot that's interested in having me or hosting me, reach out. Also, if you guys have a company or anything, would like to reach out and sponsor, we'll get you on a T-shirt, put you on a banner, push you out there. That'd be cool. Reach out. JonFitch.net. Check out JonFitch.net. Right. Boxing MMA says Bellator should make a video game and get those royalties. Man, I don't know what the money. I don't know what the money is or what they want to think about, but yeah, that'd be a good idea. So yeah, guys, if you guys are still looking for some Christmas presents, and you've got a manly man with a beard, you can go to BurleyBrothersBeardCompany.com. Right? Don't just grow the beard, own the beard. Right? It's a luxurious beard on this fellow. And you get a nice little kit, oil, and some beard grease. Right? I've got this stuff. It works nice. It smells good. They're working on some beard wax and stuff too. Go here and put in Fitch, right? Use password Fitch, you'll get a little discount. Good stuff. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Had a good time. Be back tomorrow. Talk about some more shiznit. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Have yourself a great Christmas Eve. I will, for sure. I'm going to sing a song because I think it's fun. All right, guys. Have a good one. Early one morning while making the rounds, took a shot of cocaine and I shot my woman down. Went right home and I went to bed. Stuck that 44 beneath my fucking head. Got up the next morning, had grabbed that gun. Took a shot of cocaine and away I run. Made a good run, but a run too slow. They overtook me down in Juarez, Mexico. They're the hot joints taking up pills. They walked the sheriff from Jericho Hill. Said, Willie Lee, your name is not Jack Brown. You're the dirty hack that shot that bad bitch down. Said, yes, sir, yes, my name is Willie Lee. You got a warrant just to read it to me. Shot her down 'cause she made me sore. Thought I was her daddy, but she had 5 more. It's the rest in black. Put me on a train and they took me back. Had no friends to forego my bail. They slapped my dried up carcass in the county jail. Early the next morning, about 9:30, spot the sheriff coming down the line. Up and then he coughs, he cleared his throat. He said, come on, you dirty hack, to the district court. To the courtroom my trial began, where I was handled by 12 honest men. Just before the jury started out, I saw that little judge commence to look about. In about 5 minutes in walked a man, holding the verdict in his right hand. Verdict read in the first degree. I hollered, Lordy, Lordy, have mercy on me. The judge, he smiled as he picked up his pen. 99 years in the Folsom pen, 99 years underneath that ground. I can't forget the day I shot that bad bitch down. Come on, you gotta listen to me. Lay off that whiskey and let that cocaine be. Oh, C+. C+ on that one. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Check you laters.